Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into Chapter 4 of Maritime Law to uncover something that's honestly incredibly reassuring. We are looking at the powerful, proactive financial safety net that protects India's coastal waters. We hear a lot about global trade moving across the oceans, but what actually happens when things don't go perfectly? Well, instead of focusing on the gloom of potential accidents, we're going to look at the bright, highly structured, and super effective legal machinery that's designed specifically to keep our oceans clean and our communities financially protected.
Here is our agenda for today. 1. What is bunker oil? 2. Who foots the bill? 3. The rare exceptions. 4. The financial safety net. And 5. Making your claim. Let's jump right in.
Section 1. What is bunker oil? Defining the fuel that moves global trade. Let's figure out exactly what it is we're protecting our coastlines against.
So when you hear oil spill, your mind probably jumps straight to a massive tanker leaking its cargo. But bunker oil, that's not the cargo. It is literally the lifeblood of the ship itself. We're talking about the hydrocarbon, mineral oil, and lubricating oils used for actual propulsion, plus any of those sticky residues. And this is key. This law applies to every single Indian vessel as well as any foreign ship that happens to be visiting.
Visualize the coastline of India for a second. This law casts a protection zone that extends a full 200 nautical miles out from India's baseline. It creates this massive, reassuring, invisible shield over the coastal waters. If a bunker oil escape or discharge happens anywhere within that huge territory, or honestly, even if there's just a grave and imminent threat of it happening, this entire legal framework instantly activates.
And when it comes to figuring out who's in charge, the law doesn't mess around. It casts a seriously wide net. By defining the ship owner as the registered owner, the bareboat charterer, the manager, and the operator, it completely eliminates any chance of finger-pointing. Someone is always clearly accountable. The only exceptions here are warships or government ships used strictly for non-commercial purposes. For everybody else in commercial trade, you are on the hook.
Section 2. Who foots the bill? Identifying the responsible party. Let's see how that broad definition translates into strict accountability.
Okay, so an incident occurs within that 200 nautical miles shield. You might be wondering who actually pays for the massive cost of that cleanup. Spoiler alert, it is absolutely not you, and it's not the local taxpayers.
The law dictates that the ship owner is held strictly liable, and I mean strictly. They pay for the actual pollution damage, of course, but they also have to pay the cost of any reasonable preventative measures taken to minimize that damage. And it goes even further. If those preventative cleanup measures accidentally cause more damage while trying to fix the problem, the ship owner pays for that too. It's a total blanket of responsibility.
But what if two ships collide, fuel leaks everywhere, and it's a total mess? You can't exactly tell whose oil is whose, right? Well, the law has a brilliantly simple solution called joint and several liability. If an incident involves multiple ships and the damage just cannot be reasonably separated, all involved ship owners share the financial burden together. The absolute top priority is getting the coast cleaned up immediately, not waiting around while ship owners point fingers in court. Section 3. The rare exceptions. When the rules shift. Of course, every good rulebook has a few logical boundaries, so let's look at the rare scenarios where a ship owner actually gets a pass. There is a strict boundary to this liability. A ship owner gets an exemption if they can prove the damage was caused by a literal act of war or an irresistible natural phenomenon, think a massive, unpredictable superstorm. They're also off the hook if it was intentional sabotage by a third party or, and this is kind of fascinating, if a government authority was negligent in maintaining navigational aids, like letting a lighthouse go dark.
There's also this concept called exoneration. Basically, if the person claiming they suffered damage actually caused the incident intentionally or just through their own sheer negligence, the ship owner can be fully or partially exonerated from paying that specific person. It's a built-in mechanism to keep the whole system completely fair.
Section 4. The financial safety net. Guaranteed protection for the coasts. Now we get to perhaps the most reassuring part of this explainer, how the law actually guarantees the money is going to be there when the cleanup crews need it. This entire system revolves around one very specific, massive number, 1,000 tons. If a ship's gross tonnage is over that threshold, they are legally required by the central government to carry compulsory insurance or some form of financial security.
You can think of it like car insurance, but on a massive oceanic scale, and it is incredibly robust. Claims for compensation can actually be brought directly against the insurer. You don't even have to chase down a hard-to-reach ship owner. Plus, the government issues a specific certificate proving this insurance exists. No ship over 1,000 tons can enter or leave any port in India without having that certificate on board. Port officers literally will not give them clearance without it. And this isn't just an isolated local law. It's part of this brilliant piece of global teamwork known as the Bunker Convention. Because of this international agreement, insurance certificates from other participating countries are recognized in India, and judgments passed by competent courts internationally are enforced here too. It weaves together a beautifully unified, bright global safety net.
Section 5. Making your claim. The clear path to resolution. Let's look at how all this theory translates into an actual, structured process for real communities.
When things go wrong, time is absolutely of the essence. The law gives you a very clear window to claim compensation. You have exactly 3 years from the date the damage actually occurred to make a claim. But there is a hard, absolute cutoff. 6 years from the date of the original incident that caused the damage. Once that 6-year mark hits, the right to claim is completely extinguished.
And the process itself is designed to be highly organized. Instead of a chaotic mess of individual competing lawsuits dragging through the mud, the ship owner or insurer deposits the limitation amount, and the high court or central government steps in. They consolidate all the claims into one highly organized legal action and then fairly distribute the deposited funds. It's clean, it's structured, and it's deeply efficient.
So as we wrap up this explainer, I'll leave you with this to think about. How does international cooperation, like the Bunker Convention, make our interconnected world a little safer and brighter for everyone? We've just seen how strict liability, compulsory insurance, and that 200 nautical mile shield all work together proactively. The next time you see a huge cargo ship on the horizon, you can appreciate the invisible global safety net traveling right alongside it. Thanks for tuning in, and keep learning.